Well, now you get this news story about this whistleblower. Do you know who Dr. John Bates is? Dr. John Bates just retired recently as a top scientist with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the U.S.'s NOAA. And here's what happened in essence. I'm going to simplify this and then I'll share with you what this story says. The Daily Mail over in the UK is reporting this, not USA Today. Okay, here's the deal. You've had people like me and many others telling you, and global warming skeptics, that there's actually been a pause in global warming from 1998, starting in 1998, for about 15, 18 years. You had this pause in global warming where suddenly it flatlined. But here's the problem. From 1998 to 2012, 2013, whatever, during that period, greenhouse gases have increased in record numbers all around the world. So while you had dramatic increases to record levels of CO2 all around the world, at the same time, it's like global warming stopped. It's the global warming pause. Why did it pause? It was supposed to get way, way worse, and it didn't. And consequently, the numbers that showed that there was a pause came from the United Nations itself, the IPCC, the United Nations International Panel on Climate Change. Their own numbers showed this big global warming pause. So the global warming people were like, oh, how do we explain this? So what they did was they did a whole bunch of research over the course of the last year, and they compiled a bunch of numbers, fed into their computer modeling, and then what they did was come out and say, hey, guess what? Turns out the United Nations was wrong, and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says the UN was wrong. We show that there wasn't a pause. We show that the temperatures continued to increase after 1998 also. So it turns out there was no pause after all. So the global warming people, they were jumping up and down doing the Snoopy dance going, we told you we were right, you skeptics are stupid. Here's the problem. Dr. John Bates, a top scientist at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, just retired. And after retiring, he turned whistleblower. And he said, all right, guess what? We manipulated the data. We totally manipulated the data, and we used unverified data. We, in essence, cheated to produce results that weren't actually the results. And I didn't do it myself. I argued against it. I fought internally against the other scientists, and they wouldn't listen to me. And now that I'm retired, on them, I don't care anymore. What are they going to do, fire me? And he's come out as a whistleblower to say this. And now suddenly, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, they're having to go back now and say, well, okay, then we'll redo all the data. And now they're actually going to go back and redo it the right way, the scientific way, using the thermometers that they're supposed to use, and using third-party verification that they're supposed to use that they didn't before, and actually archiving their information so that it can be verified from third-party sources that they didn't do before. So here's what I'm going to do. Hang on a second. Coming up next, I'm going to go ahead and read to you what the Daily Mail in the UK reports on this, and here's their headline, quote, "Exposed how world leaders were duped into investing billions of dollars over manipulated global warming data." Isn't it interesting? ABC, NBC, CBS, the rest of them, they have no interest in running this story. Oh, and by the way, folks, the manipulated data, it was put out to coincide with President Obama's big Paris summit on global warming, when the U.S. and all these other nations made these commitments to, well, we got to do something about global warming because the pause has been debunked. The global warming pause has been proven wrong. Turns out, no, it wasn't. So hang on, I'll share what this expose reports next here on the Bob Dutko Show.